one because it's easy. Every one of you is going to face this question at some point in the not too distant future. What do I want to be? What do I want to do with my life after high school? College, career, technical school? What is it going to be? If there's one thing I can tell you that's vitally important, it is to figure out what you love and then figure out how to do it. The thing that you love may not be the thing that anybody else loves, and that's okay. It's your unique idea, your unique vision, and your unique love. But find out what it is, because your career is going to take up a large portion of your life. We've all got to work at some point. We might as well do it with something that we love. If we don't, we're going to be miserable, and we're not going to have the passion to make a difference. But if it is something we love, we'll actually care enough to make a difference. Find what that thing is, even if it's not what other people say, and they say, well, find an easier job or something that is less risky, a good backup plan or whatever. Don't settle. Now, I know there's times we need to have jobs in between just to, make ends meet, pay our bills and stuff, but we got to realize that that's just temporary. We should never settle. We should always find the thing that we love and then find out how to go and do it. Now, the second point is that unrelenting focus and determination. I want to start with focus. I told you before that I really look up to Steve Jobs, and I'm going to quote him several times here today. One of the things he said was that focus is about saying no. Well, what did he mean by that? Well, let me give you a very down-to-earth example. My wife Jessica and I go about doing things in very different ways sometimes, and we could both be cleaning the house, and I'll work on one thing, and I'll focus on it until it's done. And then I'll move on, and I'll clean something else until it's done. And then I'll move on, and so on. What she does is she'll start one thing, but if something else catches her eye that needs attention, she'll do it. And so she could be working on 3 or 4 things before she ever finishes that first one. 99% of the time, she pulls it off. Every once in a while, she forgets something. I've seen her actually heat up a cup of water for tea 6 or 7 times in a day before she finally remembers to drink it. Because she wasn't focused on that. She was focused on other things. And that's okay for a cup of tea. But in life, you're going to face bigger issues and bigger questions. And focus is about saying no to the voices that try to drown out your dreams, your inner voice. All those negative voices that are going to tell you it's a pipe dream, it can't happen, it's crazy, it's too difficult, you'll never be able to do it. Focus is about saying no to that and yes to your dream, because it is your dream. It's your goal. It's your vision. That's where the determination comes in. It's courage, it's drive, it's dedication, it's passion, it's commitment. It's the courage to stand up and make a difference. A lot of people talking about making a difference, but they're not standing up to do it because they're afraid of it. And they want to make you afraid of it, or they want to tell you who is to blame for it. Haven't you heard that? Oh, the problems in this world, they're because of violence in video games. They're because of the church. They're because of the bars. They're because of the president, or they're because of the former president, or they're because, if you ask a Democrat, it's all the Republicans' fault. If you ask a Republican, it's all the Democrats' fault. Look, folks, we need to stop blaming other people, and we need to start standing up and making a difference, doing what we want to see happen in this world. We need to start to be the change that we want to see, not settle, and we need to say enough is enough. I myself can make a difference because I have a vision and I have a dream for this world. That is what it's about. We need to realize that change does not happen from the top down. It happens from the bottom up. It happens when people like you and me finally realize we actually have the power to bring change about. It happens when people like you and me realize that everything in this world that we call normal, the establishment, everything we're used to, was actually created by people who were no smarter than we are, who were no more resourceful, who were no more powerful. The only difference was they finally said enough is enough, and they had the courage to act on it. Is it always easy? I'd be lying if I said it was always easy. You're going to have failures. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to anger people, because when you're trying to affect change, people always get angry because they don't like change. They're afraid of it, and you'll tick people off. I believe if you don't tick somebody off in your lifetime, you're not effective. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to make people angry. You're going to have failures. A lot of these people like Steve Jobs and Walt Disney, they had several failures before they had success. But when you feel like you've been hit with a ton of bricks, that's the time to come out fighting even harder. Because you could be the next Walt Disney. You could be the next Steve Jobs. It makes no difference. There is no reason. You say, well, why me? Why do I have to do it? Because perhaps nobody else will. The better question is, why not you? You don't come from a rich family. Neither did a lot of those other people. You don't get all A's in school, maybe not even all A's and B's. Neither did a lot of them. You don't think everybody likes you. Guess what? A lot of people were told they'd never amount to anything. Why not you? Years down the road, you could be the person that they're talking about. Someone could be standing up on this stage, and instead of saying, my heroes are Walt Disney and Steve Jobs, they could be saying other names. Names like Mina Wilt. Names like Lane Kendall. Names like Kira Duvall. They could be talking about you in the way that we're talking about Steve Jobs or Walt Disney or a whole bunch of other people who have changed the world. Pursue your dreams. Don't give up on them, because there's a chance no one else will share them in exactly the same way. You're going to be called crazy. I thought I was going to be called crazy once. Actually, I'm called crazy a lot. When we started our church, we wanted to start a singing competition, very much like American Idol. And we were going to call it Rising Star. And I sat down and figured out what we would need in order to make Rising Star successful. A lot of prizes that people would actually want to win, and a place to have it, and sound equipment, and a whole bunch of stuff. And I figured out we would need, our church, who would be sponsoring it, would need to spend close to $6,000 to make this event happen, just for one season. Now, our church was only about 3 months old at the time, and we didn't have anywhere close to $6,000 in our bank account. But I was confident that if we tried it, it could change lives, and I was confident that the dots would eventually connect. I wasn't so confident, however, that our board was going to see it my way. I thought they were going to tell me, you are crazy. That is crazy. I thought they'd say, anybody ever seen the George Lopez show? Yeah? You know, George Lopez, I like that show a lot. Every once in a while, he'll just randomly lapse into Spanish, right? And, you know, he'll say, está loco, if he thinks something's crazy. And he'll get this really, really gruff, growly voice, and it's hilarious. I've kind of adopted it now. You know, Jessica will say to me, you need to take out the garbage. And I'll suddenly go all George Lopez on her, and I'll say, take out the garbage, está loco, take out the garbage, hombre. I thought my board at the church was going to say to me, $6,000, está loco, $6,000. But I said to them, look, this is a dream that I have, a vision that I have that I believe is going to change lives, and I'm asking you to support the vision. Not me, but the vision. Every one of them went along with it. And you ask, well, how did it do? Well, let me just say that we are now about to enter into our 7th year of doing Rising Star. We've had our ups and our downs, fortunately more ups than downs, but we've had some of both. But we're committed to it. We've never abandoned it because we believe it is our dream. We recognize that a person's vision needs a chance to be successful. And even one failure is not enough to make you stop. Yes, you'll tick people off. Yes, you'll make mistakes, but at least you're doing something. At least you've made a decision. You can say, I am the voice that has started a change in this world. I am only one, but I am one. One voice, one vision, one dream. I want to show you really quickly a commercial. I've mentioned Steve Jobs several times. This is the last time I'm going to mention Apple today. But I want to show you a commercial that really illustrates, and listen to the words to this commercial, because they really talk about people who are willing to be crazy enough to make a difference.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
I've heard it said once that if you are the only person who believes in your dream, that's still enough to make it important to try it out. Keep believing, keep dreaming, and start doing. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.